Welcome to the Wakefield Doctrine, the theory of Clarks, Scotts, and Rogers. We're doing an audio version, an audio post today. Figure, what the hell? Mel, friend of Doctrine Mel, did a podcast and may or may not still be doing such podcasts, which are audio posts, basically. So we will try this thing because we're nothing if not imitative. So, Wakefield Doctrine, theory of Clarks, Scotts, and Rogers. A brief explanation for those of you who are new readers, in this case, listeners. The theory of Clarks, Scotts, and Rogers is predicated on the notion that we all have the capacity to perceive the world in one of three characteristic ways. We refer to them as Clarks, Scotts, and Rogers. At an early age, we pick one, reasons unknown, and we become predominantly Scotian, Rogerian, or Clark-like. The capacity for the other two never goes away. It just goes underground, goes in the background. But it's always there. But the person becomes Scotian or Rogerian or Clark-like. The way to spot a person, the characteristics of these three are very distinctive, very separate, very noticeable, easy to do once you've gotten the basics down. The whole beauty part, as Luke Collins would have said, the beauty part of the Wakefield Doctrine is that a Roger will perceive the world a certain way. They will live in the world a certain way. If you know that they're a Roger, then you can predict how they will act. The doctrine will go to great lengths to say that compared to other personality theories, we have an advantage in that we can describe the behavior of others, and that with the doctrine you'll be able to understand the behaviors of others. Very true. You will know why they do what they do once you understand the basics of the doctrine. But the huge advantage of the Wakefield Doctrine over all of the other theories of personality is simply that it has a predictive value. Show me a Roger, show me a situation, and I will tell you not only what they'll probably do in that situation, how they'll do it. It's ridiculously useful. So that's the basics on the Wakefield Doctrine. We may or may not keep doing this thing. Send the cards and letters in. Let us know what you think. As far as a topic for the post, I don't have a topic for today's post other than we're driving around on a Thursday afternoon. I am speaking into this camera, and we'll do a post, which I guess I sort of have already done. So I'm at a loss now, so I think I will probably turn this off and we'll use this. God knows this will probably translate into 29 seconds worth of audio, even though it seems to be going on forever. But we've given you a basics of the Wakefield Doctrine, the primary principles. If this takes off, if we start to use an audio post, then I think that it'll be more user-friendly. It'll be an easier way to take in the doctrine, because the whole thing about the Wakefield Doctrine is that there's nothing exotic about the terminology we use. We do not measure qualities that exist only inside of psych labs and the heads of TAs. They're very real, if not quirky, terms to describe how a person sees the world. Quick examples. Scotts. Scotts are one of the three types. Scotts are the high energy people. Scotts are the Joe Pesci, patron saint of Scotts. Mercurial. A lot of terms come to mind, but the basic thing about Scotts is that they are experiencing a world as a predator would. We often refer to dogs, wolves, pack animals. That's the model for the world that the Scot exists and lives in. If you are willing to accept that basic premise, then you'll know why they do the things that they do, and you'll know what they'll do in a future situation. We'll use one example. It's a known, it's a given in whatever the science is, sociology or dogology, that pack animals have a requirement to maintain rank within their environment, rank within their pack. If you watch a Scot, male or female, this is gender neutral, culture neutral, A Scot will go around to every person in their environment, push them on the shoulder, figuratively or literally. They will do that. And the reason they're doing that is to establish whether you, the other person, is submissive or dominant to them. They don't care if it's submissive or dominant, but they need to know. Scots will also act out. There's not a lot of subjective value to Scots. They don't live in their heads. That's Clark's jobs. Scots act. They act on impulse. They act on instinct. They simply act. That's their strength, and that's their weakness also. Note here, and this, I suspect this post thing will go like this. We'll make a footnote. None of these qualities, Clark, Scots, or Rogers, there's no good or bad to it. They're complementary in a sense, but they're very different, and a Scot is not the bad one. A Roger, well, they might be. But in all seriousness, Rogers are not the bad ones, nor are Clarks. However, within each grouping, the characteristics, you'll see things that when you look at as an exaggerated quality will become bad. Scots are aggressive. That's a good thing when they're leaders. In a socialized setting, as a leader, Scots are naturals. So there's a saying around the doctrine. A Scot is hardly ever right, but never uncertain. That's what they do. They act. People like that. They follow Scots. God help them. So that's a case of where the strength is their weakness. How long have we been doing this? All right, another couple of minutes on Scots. So you've got a Scotian male or a Scotian female, and they will come into a social setting and act like Scots, which would mean they'll roam the room like a predator would. They'll look for weaknesses. They're on the guard constantly for predators bigger than them, prey smaller than them. That's what Scots do. They live in their actions. Very easy to identify. Very easy to get along with, as long as you keep your hands at your side and don't make any sudden movements. Scots tend to be like that. They're also the outrageous, funny ones. They're the class clown, the one voted the funniest in high school yearbooks. And they'll do that. And what you'll watch is that they're always pushing. And the reason they're pushing is that they have to maintain the superiority in ranking, not superiority in equality. See, a lot of this may seem confusing at first, but you look at them in the context of their type. Scots are not the superior types, as in feeling that they're better than others. They don't even think like that. For Scots, there are no others. There's prey, there's predators, there's alphas, and there's submissives. It's a real simple world Scots live in. Rogers, on the other hand, do have that quality. There are some better than others. But that's for another post. So I think we'll conclude this, because I'd hate to run on this post for too long and listen to it and think, geez, boy, what a waste of time that was. But this saves you a lot of reading. We will put a video at the end of this. It'll just be one click and my voice will come through, which, as a final closing note, as your, I guess we call narrator in this little post here, is that all of this is meant for Clarks to be able to take the information that the doctrine contains and use it as a key to evolve. Actually, it's true for all, but Rogers and Scots don't particularly seem to think they need it. But you can do anything you want with the Wakefield Doctrine. It's just begun that we've discovered the kinds of things that it makes available. The uses of the information are just beginning to uncover. You're getting in on the ground floor, by the way. If you're a reader from Sacramento, we see you show up all the time. In Seattle, write us a comment. We've been getting some feedback that the site is confusing and seems to be daunting. But there are no daunts here. We're dauntless. We're totally dauntless here at the Doctrine. So, write us a comment and let us know if we should keep doing this thing, because, hey, I just as soon type as talk, but I'm in the car. Talk to you later. Bye.